Hey, what's up? So I've gotten my hands on an SP-404 Mark II, and in this video, I'm going to make my first beat on it, showing you guys some of the new things it can do. Now, the Mark II isn't just a 404A with a paint job, it's received a whole bunch of beefy upgrades. As I'm going through making this beat, I'll break down the new features that I'm using in my workflow, such as the new way to chop samples, the guitar amp sim, and most notably, the new pitch shift, which is excellent. There's a lot of ground to cover, so let's kick this bad boy off. Alright, so to start, here's the drums I've loaded into the 404. If you're wearing headphones, you can probably hear this snare is a very wide stereo sample. I want it to be mono, like the rest of the drum samples, so check this out. When you start panning a sample, you can naturally send it to the left, or to the right, but if I turn the control fully left like this, it's just the left channel in mono. Same thing turning it all the way to the right. For the main snare, I'm using the left channel. And for this other snare variation, I'm going to use what was in the right channel. Next up, I'm going to take this clap and link it to the main sample using pad link. Now whenever I hit pad 16, it'll also trigger pad 11. Alright, so here's what I've got. Okay, over here on bank B is the sample I'm gonna be flipping. First up, I'm going to mess with the pitch, and I really like how they've done this. You raise the pitch, it gets faster. You lower the pitch, it gets slower. For this joint, I'm going to set it to 80%. To dirty it up a little, I'm going to add some 404 vinyl sim to it. And resample that to pad 2. Next, I'm going to apply just a little EQ to this, simply boosting the lows, mids, and highs very slightly. It's a subtle trick, but I find it helps make samples pop just a little more. Side note, on an effect that has these little down arrows, you can push enter. In this case, you can adjust what the low, mid, and high frequencies are that you're boosting. Anyway, I'm gonna resample that to pad 3. Now, this next part is dope. Here's one of the new ways to chop samples. In the chop screen, when I hit pad 1, it starts playing the sample and pad 2 starts to flash. How this works is while it's playing, I hit pad 2 and it sets the next mark. And then you just continue to do that. To fine-tune the starting mark of each chop, you hit the pad to select the mark, zoom in, and move it with Ctrl 2. With that now how I want it, I'm going to use the assign to pad function and choose what pads I want them to be on over in bank A next to where my drums are. Sometimes the start or end of a sample is a little rough and might have a little bit of a digital click. With each chop, I can go into envelope and slightly adjust its attack and release. Now that's much smoother. These first 6 pads, I'm going to now add to a mute group. This means when I play a pad, it will cut off when the next pad is triggered. I'm going to also turn off gate mode. Lastly, pad 7, I'm going to reverse. And that little bit of silence at the start, I'm going to remove by adjusting the end mark. So, with all that done, the pattern sequencer workflow is still very 404 style. I'm going to make a 4-bar pattern at 92 BPM, and I'm going to start by recording the sample chops with quantize set to 4, plus also the kick sample on the first beat of each bar to keep it tight. After that, I'll turn quantize off and lay down the rest of the drums. Rightio. Since recording that 4-bar pattern, I've copied it onto 7 more pads and made a bunch of variations. Now I'm about ready to perform the whole beat with effects and guitar. There's now 32 MFX options, and you can have a combination of 4 of them going at the same time. But of course, you still got all your bread and butter 404 performance style effects, like, you know, DJ effects looper, isolator, etc. That last effect is called stopper, and that's one of the new ones I really like. On top of the whole beat, I also have the EQ and the 303 vinyl sim working kind of like a mastering chain, like this. Here's some of the other presets. Something awesome you can do with the effect buttons around the screen is you can actually swap them out with other effects. For example, the resonator button I've now changed to be the stopper, and the delay button I've swapped with the tape echo. The last thing I want to touch on before jamming on this beat is the amplifier sim I'm running on the guitar, which is plugged directly into the input at the front. First, here's my guitar without it. Now, with it turned on, and now with reverb. Also, because I can, I'm going to be using a wah and a delay pedal. Alright, that's enough talk. Thanks heaps for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to get at me below in the comments. Here's the jam. Laters.